Is this just an irresistible opportunity for Microsoft here to take a swipe at a rival, or are they right that this would be a huge setback for game development in general?
Well, that's right, Kelly. There are two things happening here. One, Microsoft does have a legitimate concern that these software tools that Epic already makes for other developers to make 3D games could hurt not just Microsoft, which is working on those 3D games, but also many game developers that need this software in order to make those innovative stuff we like to play on our phones. But there's another side story happening here that Microsoft is angry with Apple over, and that's this streaming service called xCloud. It's kind of like the Netflix of games, meaning you can stream your game from anywhere, you can pick it up, play it on your phone, and then start over or start where you left off on your Xbox. But Apple is blocking that service from being on iOS devices, so no iPad, no iPhone. And you can tell they're really upset about this. So by joining Epic here in this lawsuit and backing Epic's argument, they're really kind of poking Apple in the eye. It's like, we got you here on this legal avenue right now, and a little bit down the road, we really disagree with your rules around this innovative new streaming service we're working on. And not to mention, Google has a similar service that's also blocked from the App Store.
Yeah, so Jack, I wonder if Apple's now gotten in over its head here or not, as the stock price seems to be telling us investors are totally unperturbed by these developments. Why?
Well, I think Apple is seen as a safe haven for investors. I mean, obviously, the economy is somewhat in tatters by some measures, but for investors, they see Apple as a company that has such a wide moat and such a wide lead over their competition that they're going to be just fine. And also, I mean, the pandemic has been pretty good for Apple. Obviously, I'm talking to you through a MacBook right now, and this is how many of us are conducting our lives and our business nowadays. But I think, one big question is what Steve was just talking about, and that is Apple's cut of App Store revenue. That has been a huge driver of growth for Apple in recent years. The smartphone market has become saturated, but now it is finding that many other companies from which it's taking a 30% cut of their revenue are now speaking up and saying, hey, this is too much.
So, Steve, as you mentioned, all of this is relating to a court case against Apple that's building here. How significant a challenge is being mounted? And what about the fact that the other news last week was that news publishers were upset because they found out that Amazon was charged only, I think, a 15% rate through the App Store when they were often paying double for new subscriptions?
Yeah, that's exactly. There are so many threads to pull here. There's the sweetheart deals that Apple has cut with companies like Amazon to get less of that revenue cut. And then you got to think about also like these other companies that have spoken out ever since this Epic thing first started. We have Spotify, we have Match Group, we have Facebook. It's this growing coalition. They're not totally formally together, but they are feeding off of each other. We got the graphic right there. They're feeding off of each other and speaking out against these policies that they view as unfair.